It's with our fantasy that we first meet the unknown, right? Well, look, say you're going out with a new person. It's like, what do? You project a fantasy on them, and then you fall in love with the fantasy. And aren't you stupid? Because you're going to find out that the match between your damn fantasy and the actual person is tenuous at best. And so Jung would call that a projection of either the anima or the animus. You know, the anima is what a man projects onto a woman he finds desirable. It's like, oh, she's the perfect woman. It's like, well, how do you know that? You've like seen her for 4 seconds, you know, but it grips you. And the same thing happens in the opposite direction. And it's an action of instinct, you know, it's like you fall in love with the image. But interestingly enough, what you do in a relationship that works is that you actually,
you want to show your daddy
I think that what you see, it's a rough
you can't touch it if
approximation.
you're too close.
When you project the ideal and fall in love with it, you see what could be. It could be that, but it's going to take you a hell of a lot of work, because like you got no shortage of flaws and the other person has no shortage of flaws, and so you're bringing your flaws together, and that's going to produce a lot of friction, and you're going to have to engage in a lot of dialogue before you approach that level of perfection again. But maybe you can do it, and then you get to live happily ever after. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Well, so the unconscious meets the unknown, and it meets it with imagination and fantasy and dream and art. That's how you take. See, you don't just go from what you don't know to fully articulated knowledge in one bloody leap. You can't do that. You have to extend pseudopods of fantasy and imagination into the unknown.
So
that's kind of what theorizing is like,
pH
right?
scale,
Even
look,
scientifically,
7 point,
you
look,
know something scientifically, you generate a theory.
This is,
well, it's an imaginative
look at
representation
these diagrams
that your
we're learning
unconscious
about
is helping
health.
you generate. And so you meet the unknown with fantasy. That's what the unconscious is for. From the psychoanalytic perspective, that's what dreams do. And you can see why. You dream about the future. You know, it's like, well, what's the future going to be like? Well, you have a little imaginative story going on, and it's like, you don't really create it. It's sort of, you watch it unfold. You know, maybe you can tweak it here and there, but it sort of comes to you from wherever the hell things like that come from. You know, the unconscious, that's the psychoanalytic end. It's not really much of an answer. It's more like a representation of a place that you don't understand. But that's where creativity comes from. And I mean, some people are really creative right down to the bloody source. In my practice, I often see people high and open because they're attracted to me because they want to play lessons. You have to kind of be high and openness to like yourself. So because, well, you do, because they go everywhere, you know, and they're not necessarily very orderly. So anyways, lots of my clients are really high and open. So they're funny people often, especially if they're smart, because sometimes they have the most nihilistic intelligence you can imagine. It's just self-critical, nihilistic, and brutally brutal and smart. And so they just criticize themselves out of existence. And so often I have to just quit listening to their chattering self-critical rationality and go out and create something, you know, with their massive creativity. As long as they're doing that, they're engaged in the world and happy as hell. But as soon as that self-critical rationality comes in and shuts down the creativity, they're just like walking corpses. And it's because if you're really open, like you're a tree, and it has a trunk. And, you know, your most prominent trait is the most lively trunk. If you're a creative person, you're not engaged in creative enterprise. You're like a tree that had its vitality amputated.
Oh, there's something up there!
This is not trivial. This stuff is deeply rooted in your biology.
Oh, okay. I'd rather go by him than go by them.
Like dream lives you just can't believe. I have one client, he has like 4 spectacular dreams a week, and most of the time we just spend discussing them. And I had another client who could be lucid in her dreams, which is more common among women.